So it's just
Yeah,
crazy. So they're just gonna go.
yeah,
It's like us, Kevin. We're leaving the house, right? We're going shopping. We're going to do things. Going to have a drink. We're going over to certain friends' houses, right? We're hanging out with certain family members. We're having backyard parties. So we're doing certain kind of things. So these guys are going to know each other just like we hang out with the people we know. I mean, you just got to go for it, right? Just be smart and follow the best guidelines, do the right things, and
well,
we'll see what happens.
as long as the testing is, being done properly and on a consistent basis, and they're, like I said, and they're at the hubs, which they're supposed to be, in this bubble. I don't see where they could run into an issue. As long as you have them in that bubble. I mean, what does that mean in the bubble? If they're not going out and they're only around each other, there shouldn't be a problem. If you're testing properly. And again, I think the issues are it is going to be everybody coming back once that happens. Who has it? Who doesn't have it? Quarantining those guys. And then if you have to quarantine those guys for 2 weeks, you're starting on the 13th. So, now those guys don't play till the 27th. How much of your team is quarantined for the next 2 weeks? So those guys don't get any training camp, because at that point you're getting ready, because the season's supposed to start on August 1st.
Kevin, in the meetings, they put all these scenarios out on the table.
No, that's it.
To the point where, let's say, Holtby and Ovechkin go down on the Caps for the series. And they have to play without them.
It's tough luck. Yeah. No, look, it is what it is.
I mean, exactly. They all know that. So
yeah, I'm not worried about one or two guys. I'm worried if and I don't think it'll be widespread, like you said, once they get to the hub. Because at that point, the guys who had it will have been quarantined. They'll have the testing is in place. And you now have them in the bubble, like I had mentioned. And it should be okay. Like you said, it is working in the English Premier League with the soccer.
And the other thing, Kevin, too, we have to keep this in mind. I mean, you're bringing up the soccer, too. These guys are some of the best conditioned athletes, healthiest guys in the world.
Well, yeah, I'm not worried about them. To be honest, I'm not really worried about them getting sick.
I want to know what you're worried about.
You still can't play. You still have to quarantine. I'm worried about this. Coaches, there's going to be players like Capo Caco who could get sick because he's got the type 2 diabetes. I mean, so there are still some risks.
Well, Caco's not going to be a big factor
in guys
with the
having
Rangers' success. All right,
he may not be a big factor, but he's still going to be there and could get sick. But it doesn't. The only professional athlete that I've seen with all these guys that are testing positive, who I've seen that's actually is sick, is Freddie Freeman, first baseman with the Atlanta Braves. So that's only in baseball. All the other leagues, I haven't seen that anybody's actually been sick, which is good. But again, that still doesn't mean that they can't pass it along to a trainer, a marketing person, or the staff that's with them who may be older, or and maybe the organization is telling that person, like, look, you can't be with us. We're not taking that risk. So and again, maybe they're looking at that, and those bases are covered. I hope they are. I hope it works out.
Look, they are. This perimeter is being set up. I mean, a buddy of mine, he started back work at the school here. He's as far as maintenance and all that stuff now, and he was showing us a clip where he walks in now, and then there's this automatic thing, and he has to put his face and his head, and it scans him. It detects whether or not he has a fever or not before he can go in and work in the building. So this is going to be part of it.
I'm not trying to be. I obviously our back and forth is, I'm obviously more the negative side of it here. I want it to happen more than anything, and I think they should go forward with it. Saying everything that I said, I think that they should try, because it does sound like they have a good plan in place, and hopefully it works. I give them credit for trying. I think if done correctly, it should work out, because you are seeing it in other countries. You are seeing it in other sports. I know golf is, different than hockey, again, with just the physicality of the sport itself. But to me, if the testing is done right, how the sport is played really shouldn't matter. It's just determining, which of these guys either is positive or isn't, has the disease or doesn't. And if they're doing that, it shouldn't matter. So, it's hopefully the league is going to be doing the right thing. It sounds as though they got a good plan in place, and we'll cross our fingers and hope for the best.
That's all we can do, man. I think just all of us in general, everything that we're doing just in everyday life right now in terms of trying to get back to normal and so on and so forth. I mean, again, you see what's happening in other states, but, you can see where they made the mistakes. So we're on the other side of it right now, where the longer we go, and the longer we go without anything turning around here, let's say in New York. And again, you can look. I mean, I went down just the other day. Every time I try and kind of run down all the states and stuff. I mean, outside of a couple, it was bad here, obviously, and it's bad in a couple other states. But there's other, not only in the United States, but in the world, it's, it's in these pockets, and it seems to be it was a result of, like I said, bad management. Or bad government, or, just people just not getting on board with just doing the right thing for a little while. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I think it's hard. I think it was hard in some of those states where, the virus.
But what I'm trying to get at, Kevin, is those are states, right? This is a league. They're putting down protocols. They had so everybody's on board together. There is not going to be, players walking into rink saying, I'm not wearing a mask. There's not going to be kind of a, everybody is part of the same, they're a team here. They're all working together to the point where they could lose their job or their privilege as a player or anything else. Or more than anything, what these guys are all doing is their money. I mean, look what baseball went through with the ridiculous amounts of money and everything else, So It's different. So if I can put a positive spin on it, where I feel this hockey thing is kind of going to work out, is because everybody's on the same team. Everybody's going to do it the right way, and they're going to go about it to the point where they can keep it down to a minimal. So as tough as it was here in New York, everybody bought in, did the right thing here, and now we're getting back to normal quicker than anybody else is. And we're seeing, like I said, when you have chaos, when you have people that don't buy in, who don't, take the advice, or at least, just do the right thing for a little while, you can see the situation we're in. And like I said, you look at Canada, they have nothing up there. As far as the numbers, it's insane. I mean, you talk about Canada closing the border and Mexico closing the border on us. And that just
it must be something in the poutine or something.
Oh man, I don't know. But, so I'm just bringing that up as an example that the league is, and it's not going to be a perfect science, obviously. But
love the optimism. Well,
I also feel, Kevin, there is, for a guy, me and you, and for most of us out here on Long Island who have been, and I'm not just excluding, I mean, talking about, rest of New York too. For all of us that have been inside for 3 or 4 months, and, we did what we were supposed to do, a huge portion of us, whether we liked it or not, we did it. And now we're getting back to normal. I mean, it's the numbers are the numbers. Facts are the facts. It is what it is. So, I just have to believe that this is going to be, handled the right way. You can look at prisons that weren't handled the right way, and the outbreak got ridiculous because, like I said, it's just mismanagement. And that's basically what it is. So I would have to believe, not to go on and on and on and on about this. And yes, it is a positive thing. I think the league, and because everybody's got to follow the same rules, whether you're a reporter, whether you're a centerman, or whether you're up in the front office or security or anything else, everybody working for the NHL at these hub cities, they're going to trim it down, and I really do. I think the Premier League is a perfect example. They're playing ball, man, and there's 22 guys on that field, and they got to run and get it out. It's obviously definitely not as intimate as ice hockey. There's no doubt about it. But, it is going to be cold on the rink, so maybe that'll take care of the virus, We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you bring up a good point that everybody who's going to be doing this is all going to be sort of pulling in the same direction. I think that's a good point you bring up, because I think the issue in a lot of the states where, it was going, or you had not everybody pulling in the same direction, or, following the rules and regulations that are being put out there, if they were even being put out there at all. So I think that's actually definitely a thing to look at, that everybody will be, or you assume they will be, complying with the protocols put in place, and which should, keep the infections at a minimum. You hope.
Yeah, well, I think it'll work out, buddy. I want to see some hockey. Yeah. We all do, man.
No, man, I hear it. And look, we all need it. And like you said, we've all been sort of getting back to a little bit of normalcy here. But it's really not. It's funny. Today I was sitting at home. I was in my pool on my float and drinking a beer or whatever. And I said to my wife, I was like, "Oh, can you get me another beer?" She's like, "It's a Wednesday." I was like, "Does it matter?" I'm like, seriously, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is anymore. She's like, "That's a good point." And she poured herself a glass. So
there you go, buddy.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny. You forget how much, because we really haven't been watching sports or live sports for so long, hockey, and they have all the replays and stuff on. I've said it before. I'm just not into it. I'm just not watching any of the replays of '94. I'm not watching any of the '86 Mets stuff. I'm not, or whatever replays I'm seeing on them. Just
anyway, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Stuff.
It's definitely replaying it on the radio, AM. It is missed. I'm getting sick of trying to find another, Netflix show to watch. Thankfully my son has actually started up, some sports, as they're now allowing that over here in Nassau, County. So it's been good to go to the field and watch him play. I definitely need to see a little, professional, sports happening. I think it would be good for everybody who, Twitter's tough to read. Before this happened, it's even worse now. And I think everybody needs a distraction. Everybody needs to get a smile put on their face and, have a little enjoyment, a little more enjoyment in their life.
Here, buddy. I'm with you, man. That's a good way to wrap this show up, buddy, is to think positive and raise a few glasses. And definitely everybody who's been tuning in for us and hanging in there with us here at Go Rangers Radio. Look, man, I can't wait, man, to talk games, lineups, shots, even if we don't know who's in the lineup or not, or who's left. But I think it's going to be okay.
Michael Haley, I told you, Haley and Brendan Smith are going to be in the opening night lineup. Mark it down.
I don't care, man. I'll be there, buddy.
That's true. You know what? Quinn could probably get away with that now because nobody will care who the hell is in the. He could bring Tanner Glass down from the front, from the front office to play. Nobody would care just because it's hockey.
I'm all
just because they're playing again.
It sounds good. All right, buddy. Another great show, and we wish Lindy Ruff the best in New Jersey, except when he plays us. Good stuff there. But,
I don't wish him the best at all. I hope he loses every game.
Good old Lindy. Take care, buddy. All right, KD. Everybody out there, thanks so much, as always, for tuning in to Go Rangers Radio. We appreciate it. We're going to keep it here. We'll keep things going as this NHL tournament gets here. We get closer as we move into the heat of the summer here. And everybody in New York, keep it up. Keep doing a good job out there and look out for each other, and we'll get back to normal. More so than we are starting to get there. All right, KD, as always, I'm going to leave it to you to say goodnight to the folks.
Good night, folks.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, let's go Rangers!